here to start off the conversation this hour is Jay Timmons. Now, Jay's the president and CEO of the National Association of Manufacturers, and you're a great person to talk to, well, on any day, Jay, but especially on a day like this, because it kind of puts together the legislation, which I want to get to. How does it affect you, right? But also the jobs report. Can we start there? Because if there was anything, this was a good report, but manufacturing jobs actually went down when a lot of other things went up. So what's going on in the American economy, especially the part you follow, manufacturing?
Yeah, well, look, hey, good to see you, Connell. I think that the business community has really been kind of in a wait and see posture to see if this bill could get through. And the speaker and the majority leader in the Senate certainly gave all indications that it was going to get done by July 4th. It certainly has. I think that gave us a little bit of confidence in how the economy was proceeding. Now, we do have some concerns about the trade deals that are hopefully going to be finalized in the next few weeks. We're very happy about the regulatory environment that is being looked at very heavily or closely by the administration. But the tax bill, honestly, Connell, that is huge news for manufacturers, and it'll be very, very positive moving forward.
Okay, so that's a positive, net positive, what we saw in the bill for you, especially the extension of the tax cuts, the other tax measures. Got it. Now, the bigger picture question, and you mentioned trade, is this idea that this president wants to try to bring manufacturing back to the United States. What would you say about that? Where are we on that? And, you know, the trade deals that he's cutting, is it a realistic goal, or is there some other goal?
Well, look, what I would say to that is I represent manufacturers in the United States. I share the goal. I want to see.
No, I know, but can it be done?
Manufacturing here in the United States, there's no doubt about that. And in order to do that, you have to have a comprehensive manufacturing strategy. And not to be repetitious, but that is, and you know, I've talked about this.
Yeah.
This got to start with pro-growth tax policy, which is exactly what we just saw get done in the Congress. And I don't think I don't think we should overlook the fact that even just a few weeks ago, folks were talking about, well, maybe we should raise the corporate tax rate. That would have been a disaster. And what we did is we kept that intact. We kept the pass-through rate intact for small businesses. We made permanent the so-called trifecta on investment and expensing, and that was all very, very positive.
What about trade? I mean, because I'm trying to figure out the trade policy and what he's doing there to try. I mean, because it doesn't seem as simple as just, hey, crack down on China and everything moves back here. You know, I don't think anybody thinks that that's just a kind of, you know, it seems like an overly simplistic way to look at it. But is there something developing now? I know they cut a deal with Vietnam, where this administration maybe is tougher on Asia than it is on, you know, Mexico and Canada, and that maybe if manufacturing is not, quote unquote, coming back here, at least it's closer to here in North America. I mean, is that kind of what's going on, or is it, what do you say?
So look, trade is a huge part of that comprehensive strategy. And I was very pleased today to hear that there is some movement with at least Vietnam. And we've seen some movement, obviously, with the UK. And it looks like there are some other deals that are being, you know, they're close to having some sort of a framework announced. To your point, getting manufacturing back here to America, or getting it closer, perhaps in the North American continent, is going to be really critical to strengthening the manufacturing economy moving forward. But I'll say this. The tax bill was important because we didn't take a step back.
Okay.
We really maintained where we were, and that was very important. We would have lost 6 million jobs in the economy. 1 million of those would have been manufacturers. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see a trade policy that adds cost to manufacturers for things like critical inputs. If we're going to build manufacturing facilities here, I'd love to say that we can build everything in this country, but here's a statistic, Connell. If we turned on every machine, if we filled every one of our 450,000 open jobs in manufacturing today, we would still only be able to produce 84% of the inputs that we need to build those factories. So 16%'s got to come from somewhere. We, you know, if we're tapping those, we're raising the cost of actually doing business. That doesn't work.
That makes sense. I mean, we got a lot to get through there. Deadlines coming up that the president has set on trade, so we'll see what actually happens.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.